This is the story of two men trying to be in the right spot at the right time, fighting for position, calling on a lifetime of experience to execute their skills at the highest level on the biggest stage. But this story is not about Santonio Holmes and Aaron Francisco, even though they were making history. It's about this man.
My name's Streeter Lecca, and I'm a staff photographer for Getty Images.
And this man.
I'm Al Tielmans. I'm a staff photographer at Sports Illustrated.
Who were trying to capture history. The two photographers, who were just a few feet apart at Super Bowl 43, actually have crossed paths before.
Funny thing about Al is, I don't even know if he probably remembers this, but when I was in college, I sent him a link with like 10 pictures.
I don't specifically remember Streeter sending me pictures, but I get those all the time. So yeah, I mean, I do that a lot. It's fun.
And those 10 pictures at the time were like my 10. Like, I was pumped about sending them. This guy at Sports Illustrated.
Anybody that sends me pictures, I make a deal. I'm like, I'll look at any pictures you want, but here's the deal. I'm going to be honest. And if they're good, I'm going to tell you they're good. But if they're not good, I'll tell you too.
He wrote back that pretty much, you know, anybody with a point and shoot could take them or whatever. Anybody with autofocus. And it motivated me more than anything, because I was like, oh, I will show him. I will show him.
Streeter focused on learning his craft. Al had already paid his dues.
I thought for sure my leg was going to break. I just kind of let go and rolled back, and I just fell back, listening for the sound of my leg breaking. No cameras were broken. I was fine, but I was so shook up, I shot almost no pictures the rest of the game. I was like really shaking.
Usually when Al Tielmans shoots a picture, the result is something special. He's been at Sports Illustrated since 1990 and has more than 50 cover photos to his credit. But like any photographer, he'll never forget his first.
My first Super Bowl was the first Super Bowl I shot for SI. I had the cover from that issue. It was Everson Walls celebrating after the Bills missed their kick in 91. So that was a pretty big deal. I mean, getting SI cover is still a pretty big deal, but getting your first one, it was pretty exciting.
Streeter grew up wanting to play basketball for North Carolina, so you can imagine his thrill when he earned his first SI cover. His job with Getty Images puts him right where he always wanted to be, near the action.
I only wanted to do sports photography. I really wanted to be in the moment on the sidelines. That's one of the coolest kind of buzzes, I guess, that you would get off of it.
And there's no bigger buzz for a photographer than shooting the biggest game.
Super Bowl 43 is underway in Tampa.
It's our Super Bowl to an extent, too. You definitely want to come out with the picture that nobody else has.
I go to that game to make pictures, not to watch, you know, and that's all you're there for.
Every game that I do go to, I always feel like there's going to be one chance. There's going to be one chance at some certain picture or something that happens that you're either going to make it or you're going to miss it. And this time it definitely happened.
It happened with 42 seconds remaining in the game and the Steelers trailing by 3 points.
You've got this great moment, but as a photographer, you're not thinking about what might be. You're just reacting to what is, and that's the crucial part.
It all happens so fast, but it is like the referees say, where everything gets slowed down. Even for me, I noticed that back on the other side, Ben's running down this way.
At that point, he set, and then he kind of took a step up, and then it was almost as if he's going to run. You've got to watch for sack, you've got to watch for fumble.
You have to prepare for him always running around, and you can't leave him.
So then Roethlisberger fires this pass, basically the only place he could throw this ball. That ball was thrown so hard and got on top of it so soon.
As soon as he let the ball go, I remember thinking, oh man, here it comes. It's coming right at me. I was trying to focus on who was getting ready to make the catch, but over here towards the top, there was a player that jumped up with his hand up in the air, and it came just as a teardrop right over top of his hands. And so as I'm switching to shoot that, I went up with the smaller lens that I had to try to get a quick frame of it.
Because you have to transition from a long lens, which you're shooting Roethlisberger with, to this short lens, which I keep like right up on my chest. When the pass was first thrown and you're bringing your camera up, you're just reacting basically with hand movements and camera control that you're familiar with. You just start firing right away before you even have the camera up to your eye. And the play kind of comes into your view as you look at the frames that you've shot, just hoping you can get it composed and framed properly so you can make this picture. This was so bang bang, it was almost impossible to know what happened until after you reviewed the pictures.
Holding your breath, looking at the back of the camera, thinking, okay, here we go, and you're looking to see if you've got it on the back or not.
Santonio Holmes, I don't know how he did it.
You can't ask for a better catch. I mean, that's what these guys practice all the time. That's what I used to practice in my backyard. And to be sitting right over here to get a front row seat at that was pretty amazing.
As a fan, this is the catch you always dream of making. You know, this is when you're walking over to the side of the driveway and you have your friend throw you the ball and you're tippy-toeing along the line. Having it come at the end of a Super Bowl in such a pressure-filled moment is it's incredible.
That's how you beat great. That's how you beat great.
To be right here and have it happen right over top of you is one of the more special things that you can ever imagine in your career, really. There's not many times that this is ever going to happen, if ever again.
Streeter Lecca was a witness to history, but thanks to the Cardinals' Aaron Francisco, Lecca was unable to preserve history.
And he's falling in your lap, and then I'm going over top. As he was hitting me, I just kept the trigger on, just hoping as I was falling back. You know, there was 99% of me that knew that I had blew it. And the last 3 frames of the camera are my feet in the black sky, and it was an interesting feeling. I couldn't speak, I couldn't think of anything, because I didn't even know if I was hurt. I'd just been lit up by, some dude in the NFL. What I like to tell Aaron right over here is, at this point in time, he should have taken himself, moved a little further off to the side, gotten out of my way, because as I'm sitting down right over here, ready to shoot the picture, he was too busy getting ready to absolutely destroy me. And on top of that, he's got pads on and I don't, which I thought was pretty unfair. So next time we'll switch it and I'll see if I can hit him. The only thing for me that was going through my mind, and I wish I could lie and say something else, but it was, oh no, I didn't get it.
Al Teelman's did.
I think I take pride in capturing the moment. I don't think it's a technically perfect photograph. It's not something a photographer would end up putting in his portfolio because it's flawed. Well, I clipped his toes off. That's the first thing I looked at. You don't see that piece of green grass between the white sideline and his toes, and that was a big deal. But I think that it was 20 years of experience that led to being able to make that picture. I've been doing this long enough to know that we're not going to redo it. I can't call time, I can't redo this. I'm stuck with what I have.
And what he had became the cover of Sports Illustrated, a once-in-a-lifetime shot of a once-in-a-lifetime play.
It's not something you can rewind and do again. It happens, and once it happens, it's over. But I think that's the thing that makes it different from what anybody else does, and there's a different set of pressure because it's never going to happen again. That catch will never happen again.